All right, guys, so we're going to go into some valve slide lunges. We're going to go forward lunges, lateral lunges, and reverse lunges. Okay, so grab onto a single valve slide. Right here, what you want to make sure of is that your standing leg has about 90% of the pressure, okay, and 90% of the weight, okay. The leg with the slide, you want to keep a slight tension on it. That way it is easier to move forward and back, okay. So right here, what we're going to do in order to go into that forward lunge, drive your heel into the middle of the valve slide, flex your toe up. Again, as you lower down for that forward lunge, you're going to push your hip back. You're going to shoot that foot forward, okay? Sitting back into a soft little forward squat. Come all the way in, take it forward, pull it back in. Okay, that is your forward lunge. Now, whenever you go off to the side, get your toe back into the center of it. From here, leg with the valve side stays fully extended. Again, your standing leg, you're going to bend your knee, shoot your tailbone back. As you reach that slide out, pull it back in. Slide it out, pull it back in. In order to go into your reverse lunge, from here, you're going to shoot this toe back and down. Again, always keeping the weight on the front heel. Bend both knees as you lower down, pull it on up. Okay, again, tendency here is for people to overreach with that valve side. Remember, you're still only maintaining that reverse lunge distance. So be able to lower down, come all the way up, be able to lower down, come all the way up. Okay, that's your valve slide lunges. All right, guys, so we're going to go into our mini band hip abduction with an isometric hold. What you guys are going to do here is grab onto your mini band. You're going to place it below the knees, okay? From this position, you're going to lay all the way down and back. You're going to be working one side at a time. So from here, you're going to kick one leg straight up towards the ceiling, flex that toe back. From there, opposite leg is going to create a 90-degree angle, okay? When you're here, your foot that's up towards the ceiling, you want to maintain the isometric hold. You should feel that in your abductors. Now, your opposite knee, what you're going to do here is open it up to the side, okay? Feeling that in the glute. Pull that knee back into that posted leg. Open up, bring it together. Open it up, bring it together. Again, one knee is working hip abduction. The other leg is working that isometric hold, okay? We go into our hex bar deadlift complex. The way this is going to work is you're going to work the right side in a staggered stance deadlift, work the left side in a staggered stance deadlift, and then you're going to double down, work both sides together. So now we're going to utilize the hex bar here. So whenever you're going to that staggered stance, your working side, you want to keep that foot flat. Opposite leg, what you're going to do is line up your toes, so slide it back so that it goes in line with your heel. Okay, from here, whenever you're going to your hex bar deadlift, remember you're going to hinge your hips back. You will get a good amount of knee bend in order to get full range. From here, you want to focus on pushing most of that power through your posted leg. Okay, so gripping onto the hex bar, pull it apart, drop the hips, lift the chest. You're driving again through that standing leg, standing up tall, squeezing your glute at the top. Again, lowering down by shooting the tailbone back, touch down. Come on up, touch down, come on up. Okay, and you go work the right side, work the left side. Then whenever you double down, both feet are squared, toes are nice and forward. Hinge the hips back, brace in, drive to the heels, come up, touch down, come up, touch down. Okay, so again, staggered stance on the right, staggered stance on the left, and then double down. We're going to go into our barbell squat complex. So we're going to have the barbell racked up on the shoulders. You're going to go into a right side split squat. You're going to go into a left side split squat, and then you're going to go double down, focus on that back squat. Okay, so depending on how many reps you're doing, you're going to adjust the weights accordingly. So whenever you guys get underneath that barbell, you're going to walk underneath it, rack it up on top of those shoulders. From here, whenever you're working that split squat, you want to make sure you maintain distance between your feet. If you're standing on that tightrope, you're going to have trouble with keeping balance. So kick your back foot slightly off to the side. From here, as you lower down, you're focusing on bending that back knee down, lowering down, extend up, feeling that in the quads and the hamstrings. Lower down, control, drive it on up. So you're going to go right side split squat, switch your stance, left side split squat, again, maintaining that open stance. From there, whenever you go into your back squat, go ahead and open up your feet. Toes slightly turned out as you lower down, sit back on those heels. Drop down, going for good depth, driving through the heels, coming all the way up and out of it. Okay, so you got right side split squat, left side split squat, double down for your back squat. All right, guys, so we're going to go into our dumbbell deadlift complex. So right here, you're going to focus on a single leg deadlift on each side, and then you're going to double down, go stiff leg deadlift together. So right here, what you want to do is make sure they start off with good posture up top, so lifting up through the sternum, shifting their weight all the way over to one side leg. From here, opposite foot, utilize that side as kind of like a lever. As you lower down, try not to reach those dumbbells too far low. You want to only hinge down so your dumbbells reach to just about below the knees. Okay, from there, you can drive to that standing heel, come all the way up, squeeze that glute. Shoot that heel down and back. It's going to allow you to hinge deeper into that hip, drive it all the way up, squeeze. So you can go on the right side, go on the left side. Directly after, you're going to have your feet hip width apart, toes forward, focusing into that stiff leg deadlift. So legs long, shoot that tailbone back, about mid-shin with those dumbbells, come all the way up, okay? Hinge back and then drive it on up. Good regression here or modification. If they can't do the single leg deadlift, go into a staggered stance, okay? So 8, 8, and 8 together. Go into our TRX lateral lunge. So what you're going to do here is make sure that you have the TRX set up about mid-calf height. So from here, what you're going to do is your inside leg, you're going to slip it into both saddles, okay? So from here, foot is going to go into the saddle. Make sure you point your toe in the direction of where you're facing. Flex your toe back. Okay, that's going to make sure this kind of elevated leg is nice and strong. From here, bottom foot is pointed again 90 degrees off to the side in the direction you're facing. Right here, what you're going to focus on doing on your standing leg, you're going to bend your knee, and as you hinge back, you're going to allow this leg to reach forward towards the anchor, okay? Going deep into that lateral lunge, you drive it all the way up, you squeeze that glute, okay? Lower down controlled, drive it on up. Now, as you progress them, you can have them grab onto a kettlebell. Again, hand, arm opposite to the standing leg is where you want to have the weight. Shoot that tailbone back, lower down controlled, drive it all the way up. Lower down, controlled, drive it all the way up. So TRX lateral lunge. All right, team, working into our TRX single arm squat, utilizing the kettlebell. You're going to have the TRX grip both handles with one hand. From here, you're going to turn and face the anchor point. Now, what you want to do is take steps far back enough so that you're standing upright with tension on the strap. Okay, so again, hand is in line with the chest. You have the kettlebell in one arm. So from here, open up your feet in that squat position. Work it, a hand with the kettlebell is going to slide behind the glute. As you lower it down, you're going to utilize the TRX straps in order to help you keep your torso upright. Bend your knees, sit back. Again, nice tall chest. You can drive through the heels. Come all the way up, squeeze. You're going to lower down, slow and controlled. Drive it up, squeeze. Again, doing your best to keep your body squared forward. Okay. After you work one side, you're going to switch over. Work again on the opposite side. Okay. That is your TRX single arm squat. So we're going to go into our TRX leg curls. What you're going to do here is sit down all the way onto the booty. You're going to grab onto the TRX straps. Again, you want to make sure they're about mid-calf length. From here, the best way to get set up is to roll all the way onto your back. Relax your head down. You're going to kick your feet up. From there, you're going to, oh wait, actually that's not what we're doing. Leg curls, so in the heels. Good. All right, guys, so we're going to go into our TRX leg curl. Right here, the focus is going to be the hamstrings and the glutes. What you want to do here is grab onto the very bottom of the TRX straps, roll all the way down to your back. From here, whenever you kick your feet up, you're going to slide the straps underneath the heels, okay? From there, when you extend your legs, you want to make sure that your feet are in line with the anchor point, okay? The further forward you go, the easier it gets. Further out, you kind of shimmy your body back. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult. Now, big key here whenever you're doing your leg curls, make sure you flex your toes back towards your shins. The second you start to point your toes during this movement, you're going to feel it all the way in your calves. Okay, again, hamstrings and glutes are the focus. So arms are going to go down flat against the ground and then elevate the hips. Keep them elevated the entire time. Again, with your toes flexed, you're going to pull from the heels, bringing them as close to your glutes as you can, and then extend it back out. Pull it in, extend out, pull it in, extend out. Okay, feeling that work all of the hamstrings and the glutes. The TRX leg curl. All right, team, so we're going to go into our dumbbell front foot elevated split squat. So what you're going to do here is you're going to have about a 45-pound plate set up right out front. From here, you're going to place your one foot on top of that plate. Back foot, you want to have a long enough stride so you have your nice strong split squat. Again, if you have your feet on a tightrope, you're going to be fighting balance. So kick your back toe off to the side, kind of widen out that base. From here, big tall chest. Now the reason why we have the front foot elevated is to allow more depth into that split squat. So from here, maintaining a nice tall chest, drop that back knee down, lower down as deep as you can, drive through those both points, front heel, back toe, lower down, slow and controlled, drive it up, squeeze, okay? That is your front foot elevated split squat. All right, guys, so we're going to go into our plate elevated drop squat. So again, you can start off with about a 45-pound plate. You can elevate it to kind of add more intensity into this movement, but you're going to start off with both feet on top of the plate. From here, as you open up, you want to make sure that you open up your feet wide enough that you do clear the sides of your bench, your plate, whatever it might be. From here, you're focusing on controlling the descent. So as you lower down, you want to make sure you absorb that impact nice and controlled. As you come on up and drive it up, touch your toes up top. Lower down, controlled, touch up, lower down, touch it on up. Okay, that is your plate elevated drop squat. All right, team, so we're going to go into our plate good morning. So again, the focus here is going to be the hamstrings and glutes. we're really accentuating that hinge position. So what you're going to do here is grab onto a plate. From here, there's two ways you can rack it. Okay, you decide whichever way is more comfortable to you. You can either hold it right in front of your chest, or if you can, I want you to bring it up and behind the shoulders. Okay, from there, tuck your elbows in. Have your stance nice and forward. You're about hip width apart with the feet. As you lower down, again, we're not focusing on bending the upper body. You want to think from the hips and just shoot your tailbone straight back. Get your chest as parallel down to the ground as you can. Then you're going to drive through those heels. Come all the way up, squeeze the glutes. Hips go down and back. You drive it up, squeeze. Okay, that is your plate. Good morning. We're going to go into our barbell glute bridge burnout. Okay, so the goal is to do as many quality reps as possible. And we're going to go for 2 sets here. So the setup for your glute bridge, what you want to do is have your barbell. Make sure you have a barbell pad kind of set up so it's more comfortable for you. And you're going to have a bench. Okay, now, whenever you guys are getting set up, you want to first start seated on the ground. Extend the legs all the way down flat. From there, you're going to grab onto the bar, roll it over so that it goes on top of the hips, okay? When you have it here, what I like to do is grab the back of the knees, slide your feet in a little bit closer, okay? Now, as you get onto the bench, bring your elbows up high. You're going to lift up until you can get the bottom part of your shoulder blades wedged up against the corner of the bench, okay? Now, from here, make sure all of this hip thrust movement is going to be pushing from the heels, okay? So your arms are just here to stabilize that bar. Make sure you're not bracing onto the bench. From here, you want to make sure you maintain a straight spine from the crown of your head all the way down to your tailbone. So as you lower down, you're going to almost sit down low to the ground. So your torso is going to tilt forward. As you go into that bridge, you're going to drive downwards through those hips, thrust the hips all the way through, squeezing the glutes at the top end, okay? The lower down controlled, thrust it up, lower down, thrust it on up. Okay, you're going to do, again, as many quality reps as possible.